Well, Togetherness Media, we're so excited to have you this evening. Happy Friday. It's the fourth day of December. Congratulations, we made it till the end of the week. Thank God it's Friday. Thank God it's another day. And thank God for the beautiful, insightful, eloquent, empathetic woman that was Foojan Zeine. We're so excited to have her here, and she's going to talk about gratitude. In the meantime, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your cousins. Say, man, we need to be grateful for more things in life, and we have some people on today to help us deal with this gratitude. And I'm so grateful because she just popped up in my box. Hello, Doc. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you, Anthony. How are you doing?
I'm divine. How was your Thanksgiving?
It was awesome. It was awesome. We had my
Good.
sister here and her family. We had a daughter here with family, and then another daughter couldn't come in, so we took him. We did an Uber Eat. We sent the food there, so it felt like we
Oh,
were all together.
nice.
So it was very nice. We had it outside, and whomever was inside, they put a mask on. So it was small, but it was really just filled with heart. So it was nice to be
Yeah,
able to be.
it was intimate, but it was beautiful.
Yeah. How was yours? I know you were home.
Yes, I was isolating. I was at home, but I made the best of the situation. I have gratitude no matter where I'm at, and I had this little rambunctious puppy that came into my life a few days, about a week before, like right at the beginning of my isolation. So I guess I wasn't completely alone. I had a little critter running around that I had to deal with.
Oh, beautiful. That's an
So
amazing timing, right?
it was beautiful.
Great timing
Yes,
for
thank you.
the puppy to be there for you.
Yeah, and you know what else? Today is a very, very special day here at Togetherness Media.
Because?
Have you heard? Today,
No.
it's Amir's birthday.
Oh my God, happy birthday to Amir. Oh my God, that's
Yeah,
beautiful. I was
yeah,
having an
to,
amazing day.
exactly. Yeah, today is our producer's birthday, of this show and all the shows on Togetherness Media. He probably wouldn't want us to tell y'all, but I'm gonna tell you guys anyway. It's our little secret. So wherever you're at, wish Amir a happy birthday. All the little chat lines, all of the chat rooms. Send Amir a shout out. Wish him a happy birthday. All right, y'all, because we're grateful for
Absolutely.
him. And speaking of grateful, let's talk about gratitude.
Oh my God, it's needed, right? So, for example, we kind of have Thanksgiving to remind us to start feeling grateful and gratitude about who we have in our life, our families, and who we are. And then, December we're going toward the holidays. So this thought about who we want to be with and who we want to get a gift for, it brings up that part of us that starts thinking about the people we have around us. And I think it's the most beautiful gift that we have. There was a study that showed that we all need each other, obviously, and this yearning to be with other human being is as much a biological need as the yearning to have food. So that's
Mm.
how important it is for us to be with each other. And I know that because of the pandemic, we might not necessarily be with each other in our homes, or face to face, but we could certainly still have this experience of being together virtually, and have this excuse not only to feel gratitude but to share our gratitude with each other, whether it's through words or touch, people who are living with us, the hugs, sharing with them who they are for us, what they mean to us, whether it's through gifts, any format that we could first feel it and then share it with them. I think this is the season to be able to do that.
Yeah. It's interesting you mentioned this, is because right now in modern society, individuality is stressed so much. But even though we are individuals and it is necessary to have our own individuality, we are still tribal, communal creatures. And sometimes we forget that until we are forced to be without our tribe and forced to be without our community. I know even before the pandemic, I'd see groups of people and everybody's sitting there, each other. Everybody's looking at their phone and doing something on their phone instead of talking with somebody. So they were social distancing mentally and emotionally, and now they are actually being social forced to social distance once again physically.
Yes, and it's shown that how much isolation has created a sense of loneliness and depression and anxiety has shown up. So it more than anything shows us how much we need each other. And yes, even if we, like teenagers and the family members are all sitting in the same room and the couch and not talking to each other and even texting with each other, but still even having the same vicinity and being
Yeah,
among each other still helps. So that's what's important with this knowledge, this knowing. And then when we know that, then we could hold the gratefulness in our heart. One of the things that we've
mm,
seen in a lot of the research is when you are feeling grateful and you have that kind of an feeling. Gratitude is an emotion, it's a state, it's a feeling that
mm,
you have. And it shows up and then it kind of like takes over. And most of these research have shown when they've done, functional MRIs and looked at the brain, is that it's one of those emotions that it just kind of like takes over your own brain completely. So it
mm,
lets go of all of the unnecessary emotions or let's say the uncomfortable emotions immediately in your system. So it relaxes us and it brings us joy and kind of like the freedom of your brain kind of, with all of the ruminating thoughts that happens. It's interesting how much of this feeling supports happiness. So so a lot of times when we
yes,
talk about, well, how do you get to be happy? The first thing is start being grateful, start looking at all the
yeah,
positive things in your life and everybody who's in your life. And the minute you go into that, it's like your whole state of being just changes. Your heart opens, your brain opens, and then you get to see your surrounding. You feel like a sense of belonging. You're not alone, and you feel blessed. That feeling of
yeah.
being blessed is just amazing.
I like to say oftentimes that gratitude is one of my favorite filters.
Mm.
When you look at life through filters of fear, they look at life through filters of pain. They look at life sometimes through filters of poverty, lack mentality. But when you look at life through a filter of gratitude, then it always looks better. Are there some exercises that you can suggest for people to tap into their gratitude quotient?
Absolutely. Like today, I was talking to a lady who is in a relationship. It's in a beautiful relationship. And, she's explained to me how much this amazing relationship is to her. But then it's interesting, every single day that she is with him, she's picking on all the couple of things that it's not like her and it's not similar to her. And this upsets
Yeah,
her. And then because of that, to just exaggerate throughout the whole thing and not really appreciate all the greatness that she has in her life because of him. So one of the things that I suggested is, every time you catch yourself and you become aware that your thought is going on picking on him and coming up with like a negative point about him, I want you to catch yourself and then remind yourself to uh, put two more positive things about him in your mind.
mm,
So if you suddenly imagine like you're fighting with somebody in your head, then immediately you catch yourself and it's like, what's the point in me
hmm
fighting? fighting, allow me to figure out what it is that I want to say and kind of like empower myself and say what I need to say and be done, and then go back to something that I'm grateful in life and look at it. And maybe something right in front of you. Like, I'm talking to you, and if I go into a place that is really upsetting, what do I have in front of me? This beautiful, I look at this ivy.
Oh, those are
Uh,
gorgeous.
Aren't they beautiful? So it's like it's as simple as this. Put something in front of you immediately that you're like, oh my God, this is just like the nature is so beautiful. So bring
Hmm.
beauty into your life everywhere that you go, and use that as maybe like a displacement, as something that you distract yourself. But it's not an imaginatory distraction. It's real. That's orchid
Mm.
is real.
Yeah,
So you bring the reality of the beauty of the reality in front of you, and you keep looking at it and allowing yourself to enjoy the beauty of life there is.
yeah,
Another
yeah. The
one,
attitude.
Another
Go.
one could be, Anthony, that, we look at our past and we maybe go to the negative past. And we forget, that if I'm here at age 59 and I'm here to, I made it through, there must have been amazing people around me who made me, who facilitated the path. And maybe I can go look
Mm.
at those, right? And remember all the
Yeah,
people that were amazing for me in my life, or achievements that I had, that I created, not all
mm.
the failures that I had. I've had, my share of those too. But then look, out of all of those things, I also created this. So you go back into the reality of your accomplishments and things that you
Yeah,
have. And your belongings, your people, your own strengths, your own skills, resilience, and you start getting, holding yourself into a grateful place for you, loving yourself and
yeah.
people who are out there.
Yeah. For me, I've always found an attitude of gratitude to be so essential, not only for my mood, but also for bringing in achievements. When I was unhealthy, like technically when I was going fighting COVID, I'd be constantly giving praise and constantly giving thanks for my health and my healing. And when I was growing up, we had often like my everybody else. But sometimes when there wasn't food in the house, where bills wouldn't be paid, I just see her walking around the house just giving thanks, just giving praise for things before they even came. Oh, I God, I thank you for this. I thank you for that. I thank you for this. And that actually magnetizes to your subconscious. It magnetizes into your conscious mind, and it magnetizes it into your cellular being, because gratitude will actually draw things towards you. It will draw things into your life instead of repelling them. When we have that lack mentality, when we have that unthankfulness, like when we feel that like we don't have everything that we need, then we don't. But if we are already grateful for it, that emotional content will actually draw it into our lives and draw it into our beings.
Absolutely. And the word that a lot of times we use is faith, and faith for people who are believe in a particular religion and a faith that may mean that to them, that faith in God and faith in what's coming, through through the eyes of their religion. I'm even calling it faith without necessarily looking at it from a religious angle, looking at it from, I'm putting something, a positivity in the future for myself. We always go through the
Yes.
anxiety and put something negative in the future that hasn't happened, but it's like the worst case scenario that I can put in.
Yeah.
And one of the things we were saying right now is, hey, I have the ability to put the best case scenario out there too, and kind of like hold that vision and have the faith that it's going to happen. And why would I have it? Going back and looking at all the positive things that have happened to me also. So if those things have happened to me that got me in here, and I didn't have control over everything, I didn't have control
Hmm.
over every time I went and drove out there. I kept being safe and I got to the place. There's so many things that have happened in my life that were positive that I wasn't fully responsible for. It just came. Like all the good
Mm-hmm.
fortune that came, all the good people that showed up at the right time, at the right place. So putting the faith in knowing that things have happened to me, that it were great, and I'm gonna throw that ball into the future and hold the vision of the future also to be positive from that space. And you bring those together, and then you have the gratitude that you hold and kind of project it into your future. And as you say, walk into it, let that future call you forward and get you into
Mm-hmm.
that space.
Yeah. How essential have you seen gratitude as a tool to pull people out of depression?
It's one of the biggest, and the field of positive psychology. It's one of those components is to actually get people to the place of gratitude, because it's when we go into depression is because we're looking at a negative past. We remember every
Mm-hmm.
single thing that have happened to us, which was negative, and then we took those events and made a generalized statement and a decision about ourselves and the world, and then we said that that's the way the world is and that's the way I am. And then we kind of carry that into the present. And every time we look at the future, we take those negativity from the past, send it to the future in a sense, and then hold that future in a hopeless place, as if these things happened to me negatively in the past, I'm gonna again experience them, and the world is gonna be like that. I have no choice but to face a world that is just bad and I'm bad and there's nothing good. That's how we put ourselves into a space of depression. And
Mm-hmm.
therefore, when we switch
Yeah.
it, when we switch the attitude of the same time that I had such a negative things in my life, I also had all of these great things that happened, and you start looking and balancing those. And that's the truth. The truth is nobody's got it all bad and
Mm-hmm.
nobody's got it all good. There's some sort of a
Yeah.
balance about that happen, and it's just where we're looking. Where
Gradient.
is it focusing, right? So if I shift
Mm-hmm.
my focus from the negativity of the past to the negativity to the positivity of the past, then I can bring that realm and move it forward from here on. And that's how it also lifts up the type of depression that we have. Another thing is that, for people who've been traumatized and they really did feel helpless and it wasn't fair to them and things happened to them that really created trauma for them. But a lot of times when we work together, Anthony, we look at the resilience that they had. They
Yeah.
survived. They're here, that
Yeah.
they were able to pull through, and then get them to be grateful for their skill, for their resilience, for their strength that pulled them out. And that's how you
Mm-hmm.
also come up with the depression with the concept of gratitude.
I have another question. Like I love words and I always pay attention to words. And when we tip, it's called gratuity, as in showing gratitude. So, how important for our mental nature is it to have physical expressions of gratitude for people around us in our life? Not only just gratitude to the ethereal, for things that are coming, but to give physical acts of tangible acts of gratitude to people around us to show how thankful we are for things in our life.
It creates a lot of beautiful connection with people. The act of giving from your heart, from your love, from not from sympathy, not from oh poor you, uh, but
For
from
obligation.
yes, from the heart of that, I'm grateful for you. I thank you for being in my
Yeah.
life. I'm so, I see your value. It comes from that. I see your value and I want to give you a gift. Whether, again, this gift is the words that I give
Yeah.
you because I see a part of you and I want you to know that I see that, or it's a gift of
Mm.
an act of service that I do for someone because I think that they need it, or it's a gift of an object that I actually give because I want them to have this and remember me for it, or that I know that they need it. If it's giving money to someone because you know that they need the money or they're going to use it in a particular way, any of those are acts of giving. When you give it to another human being, there's a connection in that giving and receiving that happens, and that connection fills our heart. It's the warmth of that human connection that we were talking earlier. That it's a yearning for each and every one of us to connect to another human being from a love and kindness place.
My mind does crazy things, and in Italian, gratta is also for cheese when you put cheese on things. So I was like, and then when you're talking about giving you a warm melted cheese, like melted cheese gives me a warm feeling too. Um, are there other for
When you say
people who are having
when you said that, one of the most important way of giving to someone is cooking for them, giving them food, or sitting together and have
yes,
food together. Because food meant that there was a
yes,
nurturance that was coming from our mother, and it was definitely love that was coming through food. So that's what food looks like for us, just
yes.
love.
Having a conversation about that the other day. We were talking about thanking your water before you drink it, and it actually helps with the flavor. And I was saying that's one of the benefits of a home cooked meal compared to a lot of restaurant meals. Is cooking for you. That energy will actually go into that food as they cook it. And you can actually oftentimes feel the difference. The ingredients could be the recipe could be the exact same, but that secret ingredient of love means so much.
That's exactly what
Don't
that
you
is, and
agree?
I think. Yes, and I think that's a lot of what you see what Thanksgiving is for or holidays are for. Holidays are supposed to be something that we get together and, cook and eat, and cook with love and then share that love together. It's like the community or the
Yeah.
family, your original family or the family you've chosen that comes together and just shares this love together. So food is really one of
Hmm.
those aspects that is an expression of love toward each other. So
Yeah.
there's this piece that is an expression, there's a feeling inside, and then there's an expression that happens. And
Mm.
all of these studies have shown that when you do the act of kindness from a place of gratitude and you let the
Yes.
person know how much you appreciate them, the bond and the connection that happens, it's a very healing space for people who have gone through a lot, and it kind of like cures also the loneliness that is there for
Hmm.
everyone.
It's funny, like we're speaking about food and also gifts. I'm not sure if you're the same way. Like when I cook, like I catered my way through college, and I've been cooking my entire life. And sometimes when I cook, I just because I will spend hours cooking when I cook stuff from scratch. And like part of the enjoyment for me is by the time I'm done with the meal, is just watching other people eat, and just watching other people enjoy the food. And that's sometimes for me like more enjoyable than actually eating the meal myself. Do you
I
ever get that
really
feeling?
Yes, yes. I mean, I think that when I used to cook, and I'll tell you why. When I used to cook, it was more of a gesture of giving to others. Because my
Yeah,
own sense is not. I don't enjoy cooking itself, but I remember when I had people, like if I was just me alone at home, it wasn't something that I would do. But then
yeah,
I would ask people to come to my home in order to cook for them and be able to have that sharing. But
I'm the
my
same
husband
way.
is an amazing chef. So since then, it's just I have not cooked, but I actually eat. the 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 gift of love, and it's amazing. And
Yeah.
when you know that it's both of them. It's like the cooking and the and receiving. So it's like part of giving the gift and then receiving
Hmm.
the gift
Yeah.
of, of someone who loves to do that, and they do it so greatly.
Yeah. See, I love to cook, but I will not, if I'm just cooking for myself, I have the hardest time cooking for myself. Um, like because I grew up in a really, really big family, and then when I used to cook, like I always had like in college, I had, like a house full of people, or everybody would come through, and then like when like if I cook, there has to be other people there if I'm gonna put in the effort that I put in to cook, because like if I'll make an 8 hour pasta sauce. Like, like when I'm sit there, like if I'm gonna spend that much time, it doesn't make sense to spend that much time cooking for myself. But like if it's an expression of love, an expression of gratitude for the people in my life, then I will absolutely just pour my heart into it. Um, and
I
that's one of the
think
beautiful things about the holidays.
yes, Anthony, I think cooking is meant to, in a sense, also to be shared. So I think there's a beauty in that sharing. But what came up for me as we were talking, it's also that we need to have the act of kindness and showing the gratitude to ourselves also.
Yeah.
So some people will do it by cooking for themselves. They'll make a wonderful meal, or they'll make a healthy meal for themselves, and that's the kindness. Another person like you and I might not be the person who actually cooks. I mean, we can eat well, but not necessarily like to go through the concept of cooking. But there's other ways of, giving gratitude to ourselves and to our body.
Hmm.
Maybe it's a bath, maybe it's getting a massage, maybe it's the exercising we do. It's just, kind of like caressing, or if your body is aching, even putting like those massage balls, that you have, and, those vibrating massages that you could put
Hot
ourselves.
baths is my hot baths is how I pamper myself. That's my pamper time.
Yes. So there are also all these other ways of remembering that I do need to, feel gratitude about my body and give to myself
Yes.
and my body and my psyche. Maybe it's, sitting down and reading a beautiful novel 1 hour and get
Mm.
away from everything else. Maybe it's doing 10 minutes to 20 minutes of meditation where you really go in and, hold yourself in a space of light and beauty. So it's important not only for that great gratitude to be given and expressed to the external world, for it to also be expressed to yourself.
Yes. It's so essential. And that's one thing we don't thank ourselves oftentimes enough for the things that we do for ourselves, the things that we do in the world in general, especially people who are empaths and givers. We're so in the process of just doing our work as healers, doing our work as or as I say, doing our angel work. That sometimes we forget that the angels need to angel work as well, and it's really
Yeah.
essential to remember that.
Yes. Again, people have different types of ideas about, who supports them. Some people are religious. Some people have spiritual beliefs. Some people have it that there's external forces that come in without us knowing it, or us over, outside. Beautiful, and we could be grateful for it. There's also this concept that it might be just us, grateful for
Hmm.
the human beings on earth that we have,
Yes.
and the abilities that we have. So it's all of it together. It's a combination of all of it. I just think that it's important for us to be able to, like you talked about, what are some of the things we could do? It's almost like wake up in the morning and state maybe 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. One of them is, I'm grateful for waking up. I'm grateful for having hot water,
Yeah.
electricity, a roof over
Yes.
my head, my husband being here, having a great relationship with him. So you can be really grateful for things that are just out there, and remind yourself as you wake up about that. And then you can create an intention in the morning of, how you want to express your gratitude during the day to
Hmm.
anybody shows up throughout the day. And then you could at night go back and look at become grateful for some of the things that have happened that day for you, and you could look at whether you were lucky in some way, or somebody gave you something, or people came to your world, or you had an accomplishment. So become concrete about looking at that. Maybe come up with, 5, 6, 10, something about the day that you could say, I'm really thankful that that happened. Either I'm thankful that I created it, and then I'm thankful for other people for co-creating it with me. I'm thankful
Mm-hmm.
for that I didn't have anything to do with it and then suddenly showed up. And those are the
Yeah.
ways that we constantly put ourselves in a position of gratitude.
Yeah. I so agree. And the one addition I will make to that is sometimes before you leave the day, be thankful for things that haven't even happened yet. When I go out, when I used to go out a lot more to functions, social functions, one of the things I'd say I'm thankful for the lessons I'm going to receive, and I'm thankful for the lessons that I'm going to give, and thankful for the insights I'm going to receive, and I'm thankful for the insights that I'm going to give as I go out. And I'd set those intentions, and I'd have gratitude for those intentions before the intentions are even manifest. And
Exactly. I think that's beautiful. That's beautiful for inviting, positivity. It's almost like waiting for it, the anticipation of the good stuff, instead of the anticipation of all the negative stuff that sometimes we sit
yeah,
through. Also get into the habit of anticipating the great stuff that are there that are going to show up for us, and get excited about it. Like when we were
yeah,
kids and we knew that we were going to get a gift in the holiday time or at Christmas time. We were all waiting. Ooh, what's going to be? What's the gift that it's going to be? And that type of excitement, a type of an anticipation. And you're right, we could definitely bring that on and make that part of our day. Of let me look at what's going to happen that is beautiful, and then because we look for it,
hmm,
we're going to acknowledge it. It's going to come to us, and we're going to acknowledge it. And to be honest with you, all day these things are happening. It's just that we're not paying
hmm,
attention, holding that type of a gratitude.
yeah,
So what you say is, if we look for it, if we want to look for it, then we won't miss it.
yeah. It's like if you're gonna buy, like you ever like just got a new car, or there's a car that you want, and then suddenly you start seeing that car everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, you're like, oh, there's that exact car. The beautiful things in life are the same way. If that's when our focus are, once we put our focus on these beautiful things, we're gonna start seeing, oh, there it is right there. Oh, there it is right there. If that's where our focus is. But if we focus on the negative, that's all we will ever notice.
And this can go on also for relationships. I've worked with so many people, and I'm
Yes.
sure you've heard it or you've experienced it yourself, that if something we don't like about our mate, we're waiting for it. Oh, I know it's going to happen again. So they're waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
See, it happened again. And it's like this, if you do it the other way,
Yeah.
like the couple things that you really love about your mate, and then start looking for those. Oh, it happened again. Oh, look at that. It happened again. All the
Yeah.
greatness is happening again over and over again. Instead of putting your focus on,
Yeah.
see, I knew it was going to happen something negative because he always does that. We could do this. He always
Yeah.
does that also in all the negative, all the positive way that they do it.
Yeah, we fulfill our prophecies. We self-fulfill our own prophecies, and we have to decide if we're going to be prophets of doom or prophets of beauty. And if we decide to be prophets of beauty, then those are the prophecies we will self-fulfill and fulfill in the life of those around us. Do you have any last words of wisdom that you would love to impart upon our people before they head out into the weekend?
just think if they know that gratitude is fun, it brings joy, it brings
Yes.
play, it brings, beauty in front of us. So even if life just, brings all the nasty things in front of you, do
Yes.
yourself a favor. This isn't gratitude, isn't for anybody else. This is really for you.
Yes.
So take care of yourself and feel grateful for you, and that's pretty much it. And I'm grateful that you are getting
I
better.
love
I'm grateful
play.
Amir is getting better, and I hope that you guys, feel better as soon as
Yes.
possible and back in studio.
Yes. Yes, me too. And I love how you said play. We should come back and do an entire episode on how important it is to have a playfulness, to keep a playfulness in life, and how important play is. Because adults sometimes forget how important play is such an essential part of staying youthful, staying joyful, and staying present in life. And I would love to come back and do a show just talking about play and how important that is in life.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Take good care.
Well, thank you so much. Tell people where to find you real quick before you go, if you don't mind.
Oh, Foojan.com. You can go to my website, Foojan.com, and I am in all of the social media by Dr. Foojan Zeine or Dr. Zeine.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. It was wonderful having you back. It was wonderful being back with you. And thank you once again for all of your beautiful insight. That was Dr. Foojan Zeine dropping the knowledge, dropping the wisdom for all the people. And we're happy that she was here with us, and we're happy that she had a wonderful holiday with her family. We're going to be back in a few minutes with my good friend Jason Farnham, and don't forget to check out Dr. Foojan Zeine on all of her social media and on all of her beautiful platforms. We'll be back. This is Togetherness Media this evening. See y'all in a few ticks.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Giving up is not an option. Happy birthday.